Hey folks, welcome to the TKC Vidcast for Thursday, September 28th, 2006. Here are my headlines. My favorite Kansas blog, Evolution, has a nice recap regarding a three-way debate that I'm a part of, proving once and for all that three-ways involving bloggers are really sad. I'd like to give a huge shout out to Devious Bloggery for making parenting seem a lot more fun than my dad ever described it. Not-so-local blogger Heidi wonders what the devastating implications of paying attention to Clay Chastain will be in terms of recent ATA taxes and probably the balance of good and evil in the universe. Quite a few local bloggers have mentioned that Kansas Cityans are invited to take part in creating a public art installation for the Sprint Center next week. Artist Chris Doyle will most likely collect any of the change that falls out of your pocket, as KC does its best to support New York artists. Unholy Moses has a great post about cigarette taxes and what might happen when all of those nicotine enthusiasts go up in smoke. And local blogger Emaw lets his homo rainbow colors shine as he videotapes guys sleeping with each other. The downtown maze might get a little more confusing for rat race commuters as 13th and Baltimore is going to be closed for power and light work. And even though you don't want to believe that the real estate bubble will burst, a pricey KC high-rise recently went off the market. Once again, the low demand for luxury living spaces in Kansas City doesn't live up to the high hopes of Condo K. Barnes and her cheerleaders. In one of the most embarrassing columns a grown man could have ever signed his name to, Steve Penn writes a salute to women in politics and mentions a bunch of hags at a recent luncheon, and not the gully interns and secretaries that make elected office so much fun. In more evidence you'll probably provide for your daughter against interracial dating, the body of a 22-year-old woman was recently discovered near a Liberty hospital, and her boyfriend was charged with killing her. Missouri is well on the way to selling off a college loan agency in order to finance ambitions in the life sciences and also encourage strippers, which in turn will benefit you far more than any of those life-saving cures you can't afford anyway. A recent survey says Missouri's income cutoff for qualifying for child care subsidies is the lowest in the nation. Also, dumpsters don't count as daycare. In suburban Flamer news, according to court documents, a JOCO fireman claimed his immediate supervisor at the fire station at New Century Air Center made a series of unwelcome touches, sexual remarks, and other forms of sexual harassment at work. The case was dismissed, but references to the flaming JOCO fireman might continue. KCK teachers aren't going to talk about grades anymore during parent-teacher conferences. Instead, so-called student advocates will get the parents and kids accustomed to failed social policy that will plague them throughout their tenure in the welfare system. An article in the business section of the Star today examined sponsorship at the Nextel Cup Series Banquet 400 race at Kansas Speedway, but strangely overlooks all of the filthy, skanky escorts that those NASCAR guys sponsor during their visit. District Attorney Paul Morrison said his call for aggressive state-level action to combat domestic violence comes from 26 years of experience prosecuting Johnson County murderers. I'm not sure what measures he is proposing, but hopefully they will not only benefit women who suffer domestic violence, but also make sure that dinner is served promptly in the homes of Kansas voters. A hit-and-run stunned KCPD officers this morning. They weren't that surprised by the accident, but more so with anyone making a speedy getaway in downtown traffic this morning. Finally, the pitch comes through for its demographic and reports on the closing of a gay underwear store in the Crossroads. It's an interesting article and serves to remind me that I haven't changed my underwear in about 3 days. That's what I'm reading this morning, folks, as I still can't manage to get all this yacht rock out of my head. Stay smooth, people. Peace.